Hello and good day. Welcome to this 5-week course on the foundations and visions for adult learning and faith formation. I am Dr. Warlito Borja, the Catholic Religious Education and Community Coordinator at the JFC Brunsum, a NATO military installation in the Netherlands. I will be your facilitator on this course. Allow me to share to you a short PowerPoint presentation I prepared for this short video presentation. Before anything else, I would like to thank all of you for responding to this challenging call of accompanying adults in their faith journey. I would say that it is indeed a very challenging task, since in this endeavor, we don't only inform God's people about the content of their faith. We go beyond what we call a mere faith formation, because in what we do, we are called to transform people's faith, not only inform, but transform. For some people, this faith transformation means a deepening of their faith, meaning as we journey with them, they are already with some preconceived notions. They are already set with what they believe and what they practice. But since they journey with us, their journey could produce a new appreciation of what they do and what they believe. And this deepening also entails a connection with what they previously believed and what they previously practiced and what they will now practice after journeying with us. For others, this faith transformation requires a restructuring of belief and lifestyle. This means that when they journey with us, they already also have their own set of mindset, their own lifestyle and belief, but this belief system is recalibrated, and there is this recalibration of faith is restructured so much so that their lifestyle is also directed and aligned into a different direction. For some others, this entails a paradigm shift, a conversion, a change of mind and heart, a metanoia. All of this make the task of journeying with these people very challenging, yet faith fortifying as well. It is faith fortifying since we actually could not give what we do not have. This means that every time that we accompany other people in their faith journey, and every time we lead them to the transformation of their faith, our faith is also simultaneously growing and transforming as well. This short introduction is divided into 3 parts. In the first part, I will try to guide you in the use of the different tools in our course platform. This means that I will show you the different tools and different components of the course platform, and I will explain to you how you can efficiently and effectively use each icons and each part so that you will benefit more from participating in this course. Secondly, I will enumerate and explain the requirements and expectations of this course. This means that I will be giving you an overview of what is required from you and what is expected from you in order to not only accomplish the course, but benefit from the course as well. And lastly, I will give you some tips that will help you maximize the use of the platform and tips in order to finish fruitfully in the course as well. If you will log in to your VLCFF account and click into our course, you will immediately see this web page. In this web page, you will be shown the course overview, the course requirements, the deadlines for each session, and a division of sessions that make up the entire course, and other tools as well. In the upper corner of this web page, you will see 6 different icons. The icon for home, facilitator, students, meeting place, VLC mail, and log out. Of course, when you click the home, you will immediately land into this web page, this introductory web page. Other tools that are included in this different icons are information, for example, about the facilitator that you will see when you click the facilitator icon, the information about the participants, and this is actually available in the icon that says students, and the icon meeting place is actually a venue where we can exchange thoughts and exchange our different insights outside the regular discussion board. And of course, we also have here the VLC mails. The VLC mails is our normal way of communicating with each other throughout the course. And lastly, we have the log out icon. The log out icon is, of course, the icon we will use to end our session. But of course, if you left your computer without any activity for a period of time, the platform will log out automatically by itself. In terms of the information about the students or the participants, which could be accessed through the icon students, you are actually requested to input your name, full name here, your current location, and a diocese that you represent. Additionally, you are asked to write a short biographical information about yourself. And this is very interesting because when we already enter into dialogue with each other, it's very important to associate an insight with the story behind the person who wrote it. And it is also the reason why I would request that you place a photo here of yourself so that we can, in the course of our conversation, associate brilliant insights with your gorgeous faces. As mentioned earlier, the meeting place is a platform where first, it is a venue where we can get to know each other better. Of course, we can already input some information in the biographical information as in the student's icon. But in this venue, we can actually interact with each other and know information about each other, what we do, what interests us, and so forth, wherein other participants can see that as well. Of course, we can also do this in the email section, but in the email section that is more personal when you address your specific concerns and your story to a specific person. But in the meeting place, everybody is able to see the conversation and the story behind what you are actually discussing. Secondly, the meeting place is also a venue to discuss topics that are not part of the session discussion, but are of interest to us. In my experience of facilitating in the VLCFF courses, there are some students who has a tendency to actually integrate or incorporate their thoughts in the discussion board, even if it is outside the theme and the topic of discussion. Sometimes this is fruitful, but most of the time, this distorts the discussion, which we actually aim to deepen in each discussion board. And it is for this reason that this venue, the meeting place, could be an alternative place, an alternative venue where you can actually discuss and exchange thought on topics that interest you but are not part of our discussion board. And of course, lastly, the meeting place is also a venue where we express greetings and personal messages to each other. For instance, if in the course of the 5 weeks, there will be a birthday celebration or anniversary or any special occasion, this is the place where you can greet each other and everybody will actually see the greeting. In the left corner of the web page, of the web homepage, you will see the different session icons. By clicking one of these session icons, you will actually see the entire schema of the plan for each week. And here you will already have an idea, an overview of what is expected from you in every session. Moving forward to the expectations of this course, I have placed here 4 basic explanation pertinent to the expectations of this course. The first one is for participants to start early in each session. This, of course, presupposes that you actively participate in all the course activities and all the session activities. But as you well know, the course is divided into 5 weeks, and those weeks are actually divided into sessions filled with different activities that will help us reach the objectives of the course. And if you will procrastinate and delay your participation in each activity, you will definitely left behind and you will not benefit much from the conversation that takes place in each session. It is for this reason that one of the basic expectations of the session is that you start early in each activity. The second expectation has something to do with your response in every session question. It states that you have to make sure that you understand the question of each session and the different components that this question entail. What does this mean? In each session question, you will see later that not all questions are simplified and simply put, but there are complex questions which entails different components. And it is important that you are able to understand each question and the components of each question in order to be able to respond to it entirely rather than just partially. And for this reason, it is also presupposed that if you don't entirely understand the question, that you should be an email for any clarification. I will give you a concrete example in this regard a bit later. The third requirement is for you to show and to manifest that there is actually a connection and a relation between your response and what you have learned from all the readings that we had and the conversations that you actually made with other participants. By doing so, there is an integration of what is previously conceived, what is learned, and what is actually achieved in the dialogue that transpired in each conversation. And lastly, you are, of course, expected to enjoy each conversation. As mentioned earlier, I will give you an example of the second expectation, which I wrote in the list of the 4 listed expectations, that is making sure that you understand the question and its different components. In this example, we will read, how would you define conversion? Do you agree that mature adult faith is living, explicit, and fruitful? And then you have to explain. In responding to this question, some participants have a tendency to respond to the second component of the question. As you could see, I have marked here with different colors the different components of the question. The first component pertains to your definition of conversion. And by defining conversion, you are asked not only to express your personal opinion, but your understanding of the readings that we had and the conversation that you also conducted with other participants. The second component of the question pertains to your understanding and agreement or disagreement in terms of the mature adult faith as living, explicit, and fruitful. You will realize in responding to this question that both components are actually connected, but there is a tendency for some people to go directly to the second question or the second component, which speaks about the maturity of adult faith, forgetting the component of conversion. And so it is important that before you respond to this question, that you are actually able to identify the two components present into this one question. You will also notice that in each discussion board, you will read an instruction that says, for all the discussion boards in this course, the individual reflection question requires a minimum of 1 post, and the group conversation questions or question requires a minimum of 2 posts. Here, in this regard, I would have to say that if you focus on the minimum, you will also get a minimum from the course itself. That is why it is advised that you make the discussion board into an ongoing and dynamic conversation, so that this conversation will lead into a deeper reflection and which will produce insightful thoughts and even nuanced ideas. Another instruction that you will see in each discussion board goes like this. Each student is required to pose 3 times. First, post your insights and reflections, then return to the post in depth. Quality responses to other students' postings. You are part of a community conversation. In this regard, you are first and foremost expected to post your response to the discussion board question. And your response is, of course, a personal reflection that is drawn from your personal experience, your initial thought, but also from the readings that you had in the session itself. The second post, which is actually a deepening of your first post, is in principle your third post. Why? Because it is the post that you will make after reading and responding to other people's comment on your initial response. And that is the reason why the deepening of the post means that you arrived at a deeper understanding of your own response by reading and entering into a conversation with other participants. That is why it's expected that your second post, which is actually your third, will be related to your initial post, but will be nuanced by other by aspects that you drawn from your conversation. And the second post will be the comments that you give and the interactions that you have with other participants. Minimalistically speaking, if you only post your comment or your initial response and then do one comment to another person or another participant and then post another deepened response in consideration to what you have read, then you have already accomplished your task in each discussion board. But if you are not to think minimalistically, but actually go into a deeper reflection and conversation with other participants, then it means that you will not be contented by just commenting on one post, but comment in multiple posts, and that you also respond to the comment of other participants to your initial comment and to your comment on other participants as well. In so doing, there will be a dynamic conversation with other participants in relation to your initial post and to your comment on other participants' opinion. And now moving forward to the tips that I will give so that you will be able to efficiently and effectively participate and to benefit maximally from this course, I have placed here 5 points. First, I would advise that you read the profile, biographical profile of every participant so that you will actually be able to associate a story in every post. And this gives life to the conversation. Secondly, is for you to have an overview of each session every Sunday or every start of the week. This means that before you actually start in accomplishing the task and entering into conversation, that you actually zoom in and browse over all the requirements of the course, of the session, so that you will already have an overview of what you will do and that you can already budget your time during the week. Thirdly, is that I advise that you read the discussion questions before starting to read the required readings. This means that you will have a proactive way of participating in each session. That is, when you read the questions beforehand, before reading the articles, you will already have some paradigm and some mental mindset in actually reading and appreciating each article. By so doing, it will be very easy for you to extract information that you need in order to respond insightfully in each questions. And fourthly, I would advise that you regularly check your VLC mails so that you are on track and that you will also be conscious of different conversations happening inside the VLC mails. And lastly, I would suggest that you post tips and suggestions in our meeting place to help other participants benefit from the course. This means that aside from only entering into additional conversation in the meeting place, and aside from using the meeting place for just engaging other participants with other topics, it will also be helpful to use this venue to give tips and suggestions to other participants in order for them to benefit more and to use more efficiently and effectively each tools in our platform. And that's all about it. Thank you very much for spending time in watching this introductory film or introductory video. And please don't hesitate to shoot me an email if you have other questions about the course reading, and any concerns that you have pertaining our course. I hope to see you in our Zoom meeting. Otherwise, I hope that I will be able to enter into a good conversation, a fruitful conversation with you in this 5-week course. Have a nice day.